Hello, everybody. I'm Roger Hedgecock. Have you ever heard of me? Some people have heard of me. I wish this national radio show I have got into Phoenix because there's so much that needs to be done. I've been talking to some of your state legislators. Your voters out here need a lot more education. I should say that from California, right? Anyway, I'm out of San Diego, California, and a long time ago I used to fill in for Rush and do a lot of stuff like that you may have seen in Fox and all that. And now with my new show, what I've been trying to do is say, you know, I've been talking professionally for a long time. I am so tired of talking. I am through talking, okay? Because this year I'm just mad and upset and concerned and frustrated, and I want to be able to do something. Talking isn't enough anymore. We have got to get up and do something about what's happening in this country. So I've been partnering with a lot of great folks, AmericansForProsperity.org. These folks at SpendingRevolt.com are kind of an outgrowth of a couple of different groups, the Club for Growth and those sorts of folks. Because I guess what I'm trying to do here is reach out and get as many people as possible into the idea that we've got to act between now and November particularly. We've got to act to restore our Constitution, to restore a free market economy, to restore an opportunity society, to restore a society based on individual responsibility and individual initiative, because all of those things that we took for granted, I think, too much, have been shredded, ignored, discarded, reviled by this current administration. All that made America great has become bad, in the mainstream media particularly, on CBS and NBS and PBS and all those BS networks. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is Tom and I are going to start in a minute. We actually aren't started. I'm just warming myself up. We're going to start, because usually I don't talk on Sunday. It's a Monday through Friday thing, and actually I'm in a union, right? The American Federation of Television and Radio Announcers, AFTRA, AFL-CIO. Huh? So talking on Sunday is like verboten, so don't tell anybody. But now I'm on the warpath. My own jihad I've declared against overspending, against people who believe government has all the answers, against the nanny state that wants to be in every nook and cranny of my life, like I can't have salt in my food and I can't do this, that, and the other thing. No. Back off. That isn't America. So today I'm just so glad you all came out, because I know you're not used to sitting in hotel room, banquet rooms on Sunday either, are you? So we're all doing something a little different today. And here's what we're going to do that I want you to do, because this show is about you. What is government overspending? What is what government wants to do now in taking over your health care? When it wants to do now in taking over, CO2 emissions and the whole banking business and the auto manufacturing business and every other kind of thing that's happened that you all know about, we don't need to say. What does that mean to you? What's going on in your life, in your business, in your kids, in the education, in whatever? We want to hear your stories today. That's what this is all about, and we'll start in a minute with that. We do have some special guests, and Senator Steve Pearce is with us. Steve, stand up and say hi. Senator Steve Pearce from Arizona. And I guess you're going to introduce other people, right? You're going to introduce other people that are... Oh, yeah. All right, so Tom's ready. So I don't know, Tom, you tell me when we're ready to go, because you said 4 and it's only 5-2. I'm going to sit down. Okay. I'll sit down. You're on.
Okay. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tom Jenny. I'm the Arizona Director of Americans for Prosperity. I'm very glad that all of you came out and took some time out on your Sunday afternoon to be with us here in Scottsdale, Arizona, to talk about the gravest problem that is facing America, facing our children and our grandchildren, which is the spending problem. This is a gigantic problem. I know a lot of you have heard the statistics. We're going to try to break them down, I think, into real pieces so that you can all understand what's going on. And I think the most important thing is we're going to hear a lot from you, because this is a town hall. So we want to hear what your experience is and what's going on with you, how runaway federal government spending is making your life difficult, and how it threatens the prospects for your children and grandchildren. So we really, really want to hear from you. Just to give you the really, really big picture, the 10,000-foot view, if you look at the next 75 years, this nation has hanging over it $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities. Now that's above and beyond all of the stuff that they already plan to spend that they have tax money for. So there is taxes, and we're going to pay a ton of taxes. We're going to keep paying taxes, it looks like, to take care of a bunch of spending. But what we're talking about with unfunded liabilities is the money that's above and beyond that. That's in addition to all the stuff that they're currently spending. This is hanging over the next generation. If you take people under the age of 18 in this country, there's about 91 million, I think the last number I saw, of people in this country, children, who are under the age of 18. They have never voted for a politician, at least not outside of Chicago. I think in Chicago, you can be 8 years old and vote, I think. But outside of Chicago and places like that, maybe Louisiana, people under 18 don't vote. And so they have never actually voted for a politician. They have never voted for the taxation levels we face. They have never voted for the spending. They haven't voted for the debt. And yet these are the folks who, as they grow up and live their lives and work during the next 75 years, they're the ones who are looking at this $100 trillion unfunded liability that's hanging over them. This is Medicare, this is Medicaid, this is Social Security, it's the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation when a lot of these defined benefit plans go bust. It's also all of these companies, if you want to add even more to that, it's these companies that somehow the government believes are too big to fail. Remember that whole thing? So it's the bailouts that are coming. If we keep doing the kind of things that we're doing, we're looking at well over $100 trillion in spending that the government has no answer right now in terms of how to pay for that. There are really, really bad options. If you look at the options, well, let's break that down. Does anybody know what $100 trillion is? I have no idea. It's an unbelievably large number. It's unfathomable. But what I would say to you is let's break that down. So each one of those kids in our country, who's 90 million kids under the age of 18, each of those kids, if you take their share, it's over $1 million that child faces over their lifetime, over the next 75 years, that they're going to have to pay above and beyond the burden of taxation that we currently have. That's huge. If they work for 50 years, that's $20,000 a year of extra burden for each one of our children and grandchildren that is currently, they have no way to pay for. They don't have a tax stream that's going to pay for that. How are they going to take care of it? Well, the options are all really, really bad. Well, actually, there's one option that we're going to talk about, and that's why we're called Spending Revolt, and that's the option we like. We've got to get this spending under control. That's the option we really want to go with. The other options are really bad. One of them is to raise taxes. To take care of some of these things, just to get a start on it, they would have to double payroll taxes. It's unbelievable the amount of taxation that would actually have to take place in order to take care of this problem in the future. That will kill economic growth. That will hurt America. We will no longer be a job creating most of the time. Obviously, we haven't been creating a lot of jobs in the last 2 years, 2 or 3 years, but we would not be the great engine of economic growth that we have been since this nation began if we raise taxes to that level. It's a really bad choice. Another bad choice, inflation. Inflation and devaluation are huge, bad no-nos. If we go with hyperinflation, if we go with devaluation, we end up being like one of those third world countries you hear about. We're like the people in Argentina where one morning you wake up and you say you had $100,000 saved for your retirement in the bank, and the government tells you, oh, by the way, no, we're sorry, you only have $40,000 left in your retirement account. By devaluation, they simply wipe out the value of everything you've saved. That's another option that the government has if they don't want to go with taxation or if they don't want to cut spending. There's a lot of other options. It used to be when countries got into this kind of trouble, you could invade another country, take it over and tax their people. The problem is we're one of the richest countries on earth. If we invade and take over other countries, imagine trying to tax people in Mexico. What if we, obviously no one's talking about invading Mexico. What if we decided we're not going to get any money out of Mexico by trying to invade? So that's another bad option the countries have done in the past and we don't have open to us. I hope we don't have open to us. A lot of really, really bad options. So this is a huge problem. It's really the hugest problem we have in this country. And this is a problem that did not start